Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our new series in 2025. We just reactivated our B2B tips to grow and transform. So, very lovely to we have a very special guest today, Darren, and he is actually in the field of very popular trend. So, which trend is that? Let's, Darren, how about you introduce yourself so everyone knows what is it about?
I will. So I'll give it away. It's all about podcasting.
Yay,
And
podcasting.
podcasting, and in particular, podcast marketing, because I find that there's a bit of a distinction between just podcasting for podcast's sake, but really leveraging podcasting for marketing and building your business. So I call it podcast marketing.
Podcast marketing. Interesting. Yeah, we all know that podcasts now start to become a very popular tool in the marketing side. And especially when you combine both together, there seems like something that you really want to share your experience with us. But before we dive into that, can I ask you, how did you start this business and why did you start it?
Cool. So I do a few different things, do lots of different things. I work as a corporate recruiter in IT, and I
Oh,
work as a photographer as well. So I've done all sorts of stuff. And at a certain point, about 6, 7 years ago, I realized that I had to start finding a new way to market my businesses because the traditional ways of marketing and advertising and cold calling and all that stuff just wasn't working anymore. So I said, I've
right.
got to learn. I've got to get into the new world. And I stumbled into digital marketing and digital media and social media and podcasting. And then I thought, you
Oh,
know what? This sounds like a really cool idea. So I set up two podcasts, one for each business. And my
oh,
brand that you see on my corner here, Suspended Animation, is my photography brand originally, but I've turned that
nice.
into my podcasting brand and podcasting ecosystem. And it's been an incredible journey. 7 years or so. I now teach
Wow.
people and do all sorts of courses, but I love podcasting, and it's been incredible from a business building point of view if you do the right things to use it and leverage it. That's the key.
Wow, amazing story. And I think your story reminds mine, right? Like we started in the field that at the time VAs, like my one's VAs, yours is a podcast about 7 or 8 years ago. Maybe not as popular as now, right? And then
Right.
now, and it started to be booming. And we're in a position that we're in the field already, but we want to do something a bit different too. So I believe during last 7 years, many things may have happened to your business too. Do you
Right.
have any like insights or experience you want to share with all the audience? What was your experience during the scale up journey, especially?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I'm still in the process of scaling up from what I do
we
from
all are. We all.
from a course's point of view. But it
Mm.
was a great journey. Like the initial part of my journey was just scaling up the actual podcast itself to make sure that I had guests every week and I had people waiting and I had lots of episodes lined up because that was the beginning of the whole source of the journey, because
Yeah.
then I realized that if I really showed myself as a strong podcaster, then I could have some credibility to actually start teaching. So the initial phase
Oh,
was scaling up the actual podcast. And so I've just hit podcast 250 something, which has been
yeah.
great. And throughout the last few years, I've been building courses and all sorts of other workshops and stuff around podcasting that's kind of on the back of that. So it's all been a journey over time. And definitely the challenge has always been marketing, just like anything, getting enough people to know what you do, getting enough people to buy into what you do, monetizing it wherever you can. So I'm doing all sorts of different things to keep continually testing and working out how I can leverage that side of things. And that's just a never ending journey.
Yeah, definitely. It's more like we create a product, right? And then we realize on this journey there's something else very important to leverage that. And it's for example, you remind me about book, right? A lot of people write a book now and what they want to be an author. But if there's nothing related to the marketing about a book, it doesn't really
That's
do
right.
much about a book itself,
No,
isn't
the
it?
book is great, but it's what you do with the book.
Exactly. So can you share with us some tips about, like it must be your genius zone because you actually combine these two areas, marketing, the podcast. Can you share with us some of your tips about what is the, golden nuggets here?
You bet, you bet. So the first, like, there's a few things that I see quite often from people that are getting into podcasting. Number one, it's hard to continue and be consistent. A lot of people stop too early. So that's number one. The key is it's not a short-term strategy. It's like any strategy. It takes time. You got to build it. You got to get better. So number one is to be patient and really set in for the long term. But number two is I see people doing a lot of podcasts and then they don't do enough with that amazing footage that they've just recorded. It just disappears. And that is the biggest waste, the biggest shame. And that's where I really am, where I'm really passionate, is that everything that you create, particularly a great conversation like this, that is recorded with visual and audio form, that is a gold mine of content and marketing strategy that you can build around that for the next 6 months. You've just got to know how to start stripping it up, recreating it, repurposing it, putting a strategy together on how you reach your audience with it, whether it be social media, your newsletter, ads, all sorts of other targeting methodologies, leveraging it in your email signatures, really trying to think of things like a marketer. How do I get my brand and my content in front of as many people as I can? And how do I build referral systems, and how do I build repeat customers and credibility to start using all the stuff that I've created to brand my business. It's not about just, oh, great, we have a podcast, I've done so many episodes and beautiful, good for you. It's what are we
Yeah.
going to do with it? How do we use it? And that's the
Yeah.
hard part. That's the thing where you really have to dive deep and really think like a marketer to start using
Mm.
that material to build your business and open up doors and opportunities.
Beautiful. Any more? Like we heard,
Yeah.
there's one, 2 points.
So what I would say is that if I really want to break it down, is everyone that does a podcast, make sure if you can do it in video and audio form, great. You don't have to, but it's always good if you can. And then I would say leverage all the tools that are available to you these days to start chopping up a lot of that stuff. You might use VAs. You might use software like Opus Clip or Splashio or CapCut. There's all these great tools that will automatically strip audio, video into little segments. They'll take tools like Riverside and Swell AI will actually take the audio or video file, give you a transcript. Then you can use ChatGPT, turn it into a blog, turn it into an article, turn it into a PDF. Use Gamma, turn it into a presentation. So you can go through a whole journey of series of events, starting from the raw material, but what you end up with could be 100 or 50 or so pieces of content in many forms that become your marketing army. And that's what
Yeah.
people don't do.
Yeah, and let's talking about, like, for example, from marketing point of view, content creation, that could be the challenge for a lot of business owners, right? So either is not our genius or we don't have enough time. But this, for me, that's perfect because once someone, I always feel like I normally interview others, right? I don't know what to share with my contents, and they just say, just get someone interview you. I go, oh, that's a good idea.
Exactly.
Things just we just did one like recently, right? So this things just
Exactly.
naturally comes out. So I think for
And
content creation point of view, it's really great for help for all the business owners.
absolutely. And
Right.
the one thing that I always tell people is that, like, when they start thinking about a podcast, they think, oh God, it sounds like a lot of work. Oh my God, can I really do this? And my question would be, regardless of whether you start a podcast or not, you still have to market your business. So you're still going to be creating content. So you might as well do both at the same time, and then you've got
Right.
both because
Yeah.
one does the other. Why just do one when you're not and not waste the opportunity to have a podcast as well? Just do both. So it's all the same work.
Yeah, why not? And then like I love to chat. Just record it, and then we can get the golden nuggets out, right? And share with
Yeah.
others. Fantastic. Right.
So it's really
Mm.
good.
So other than this, that what are the challenges or probably either yours or you can see your audience, like the clients you're helping? What are the most difficult part, like a challenge that they can't break through?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think the biggest challenges for people when they think about podcasting is that it's going to take a lot of work. They think it's going to
Mm.
take a lot of work and they don't understand the technical side of it. So they
Right.
think, oh, do I understand the tech? Do I understand what microphone? How do I edit? How do I produce things? How long is it going to take? I don't have time for this. I got work to do. So that's the biggest issue is the knowledge and the time.
Knowledge and time. Mm.
That's the biggest issue. And then the third one would be there'd be a bit of fear involved. A lot of people are scared to put themselves out there and start being vulnerable to becoming a host and talking to people and making mistakes and you know doing an interview that's not so great or whatever. But that all comes with practice. Like when I go back to my beginning, first few episodes, they were terrible. But when I look back now, 250 episodes later, I've
Mm.
learned to kind of get my style and find my voice, and it's
Right.
fun and I enjoy it, and I don't even have to think about it. So it's all about practice. So people, if they worry about that kind of stuff, I know it's hard, but take the first step. Don't overthink it. Don't analyze to the point of scaring yourself away. Just start, build it as you go, and and be patient, be consistent, and you can really learn to do it in a very short period of time now when you use all the AI and workflow
Mm.
and VAs around. That option as well is fantastic. I use 3 great VAs for my podcast editing. They're
Beautiful.
amazing. So there's a lot of ways to do it without it taking too much time or money. It's very cheap, and the result is incredible.
Mm, right. And because you are in this field and very professionally in this field, so is there something that you want to shout out to the audience that you either can help or you ask someone else to help? Yeah, anything in your mind?
Yeah, sure. Like just a little message or a call to action.
Yeah, well, if you
Yeah.
have something, yeah, I wanted to give to the audience. Yeah.
Sure. Yep. So first of all, in terms of advice, first of all, as I said, those are the 3 things. Don't be scared. Dive in. Go with the flow. Learn as you continue. Learn from the people that have been doing it for longer. And if anybody's interested, I've put together an amazing free 7-day podcast challenge where
Mm,
every day you'll get an automation email with lots of great free content, and there'll be opportunities to buy courses and stuff off the back of that if you want to. But you'll learn a lot about the mindset, the psychology, the why podcasting, the strategy of all that stuff to really help you realize how important it is as a marketing tool. So you can I'll give Joanna the link. You can jump on. It's automated, and there's lots of great videos and articles and free guides that you can download and all sorts of stuff. As well as if you want to take the next step and do a course, they're really low cost courses.
wow, thank you so much. That would be really great help. And I can really feel that there's a lot of golden nuggets there, so can help our audience out. So how can the audience reach out to you if they need any help or connect?
Yeah, you bet. For sure. Thank you. Um, Always just go to my website, which is just suspendedanimation.com.au. And then on there, they'll just go to the main podcasting page and all the stuff is there. Reach out to me if you want, ask a question or send me a LinkedIn message or an email or whatever. But all the links and all those social handles are all there on the one page. So you can just jump on and find everything.
Wow, thank you so much. Right. I hope that today's episode is really helpful. Anyone who started to think about leveraging the podcast, or maybe you're already in the field, that I learned you from the most is that we always learn and improve something along our own journey, right? And then apparently Darren is the specialist in this field because he's been doing it for 7 years, and he's got a knowledge and he's got a way to leverage that. Why don't we actually, leverage other skills and to help each other's out? So as Darren said, start somewhere, roll out, and we can always improve on the way, and really have this tool as our major trend as building a personal brand or company brand, and just share your message out.
Yep,
Oh,
I
that would be
agree.
wonderful.
I
So, is there
agree.
any final words for the audience?
Final point, I would say 2025 is
Mm.
definitely the year to really get serious about your marketing, because I can feel that things are getting noisier and noisier. Everybody's
Mm.
now already jumped on the social media and digital bandwagon. So there's a lot of noise, and people are almost a little bit repelled by it all. And your voice, there's a chance that you'll be less heard because of the
Mm.
noise and because people are sick of the same type of stuff. So the aim now moving forward is to do it better than everybody else. So it's not
Mm.
enough to just do it anymore. You've got to be better than a lot of other people for your voice to be heard. And that's why it's really important to get serious about your marketing and take it to the next level, so that you're the one that stands out and all the other people fall in to the other string of noise that we see all day long.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, Darren. Let's all actually leveraging podcast and along with marketing to stand out from the noise. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank
Thank
you.
you.